All right, guys. Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Let me pull up this chart here. Okay, here's what we're going to do.
Hi, this is Mark Barton at
Hold
Sandy
on
Hook
a
Promise
second.
in Newtown, Connecticut.
And hi, this is Nicole Hockley, also from Sandy Hook Promise.
So what we're going to do is, this is an easy lesson, I promise. We're going to do a blues scale connection etude. The reason I call it a blues scale connection etude is because we've been using the blues scale and talking about different shapes. We have shape 1 is the first 5 notes of the blues scale, and shape 3 at iMusic Academy at least is the top half of the blues scale. So you have notes that you know are going to work in your blues solos. But also there are ways to make it to where you connect those two scales that makes it a little more musical. Let me pull this up so I can see the chat if anybody joins in this little quick pop-up lesson. All right, here we go. So the first thing is this. You have minor third to major third, which is such an important thing to do. And let's just say if we're doing this basic C, G to C, A blues, you can do the 8th note, which is what I'm doing now, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Or you can do quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just 1/5 of any scale up to 1/6. So in my right hand, this idea of the minor third to major third. We talked this week about how you have your blues scale, and it's great to play the blues scale and all those notes work. But occasionally you want to hear that nice major third sound. Right, gives you, or you could do the blues triplet from volume 1. So anytime you're doing the minor third, major third idea, you can go up to, when you go to the 4 chord of the C blues, which is F, you can use that minor third of F, and the same thing on G. So whenever you're playing a C blues, you're mainly going to use the C minor blues through the entire thing. No matter what chord you're on, you're going to be using the C blues. When you go to F, you can still use the C blues, and then when you go to G, same thing. But then when you go to those minor third, major third ideas, you can definitely think about each particular scale. So I can think of minor third to major third for C. When I'm on the F, I can kind of visualize that triad with that minor third to major third on F. Same thing on the G chord. What this etude does is it takes your minor third, major third, root, and your thumb. So you have this sound. Okay, so this does about 3 different things that I'm noticing. One is you're playing the minor third to major third, and then you're coming down, so 4, 5, 3, 1, and then you go up to the flat 7. And then you turn it around where you finish off the blues scale. Ba-da-da-dum. Let's do that. So think of this as a beginning etude. You know this first 5 notes, you know the top half of the blues scale, and now we're starting to connect. So we're trying to make a little more music out of that idea, even by turning the scale around just a little bit. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So another thing that's happening in this etude is you have your flat 7, your 9, your 3, and your 5 of C. So we have comping chords. So we spend some time on the first part, which is connecting, and then we do a comping chord, which is very important. If I'm playing a blues solo and I do da da, so your comping chords will help fill in the space. And what in the world is a comping chord? It can be a 2-note chord, 3-note chord, 4-note chord, whatever you want to do in your right hand to fill in the gaps. So I can go, and then I could put it down here. Let me do that again. So filling in the gaps is kind of nice. So that's what we're doing here. And we have minor third, major third, root, 5. And 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. So you can just loop those 2 measures right there and get a lot of work done. But what we're going to do in just a minute is we're going to go and transpose this to F and then to G. The whole etude is built on this concept, which you can transpose on any chord. before we go on to the F chord, I want you guys to realize what I'm doing here. I'm looping this on purpose. I'm building up some muscle memory of using 4, 5, 3, 1, of getting this pattern. Notice that's the second inversion triad with the minor third to major third. And now I'm just coming up to the flat 7 of the blues scale, and I'm turning it around and doing the 4, 3, 2, 1. One video that I often will remind students about is when I'm using the connection. I have etudes where I like to connect the blues scale using the 4th finger. So if you're practicing going up and down with the C minor blues scale, one note I like to visualize is that F sharp. If you can get to the F sharp, it really helps you connect the scale and you know where you are. Da 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 da. Right? So we have. Okay, let's go to the next line. The next line is your F7 chord. So the same exact motion is happening, and that's one of the reasons I love this simple etude, is now it's going to go up A flat to A, so minor third of the F major scale, and then you go to the root 5th, and then you come up to the flat 7 of the F blues scale. I just told you guys that whenever you're playing the C blues, you can stay on the C blues scale, and it's often recommended to stay on the C blues scale even when you change chords, F and G. But there are occasions that you can make it work, where especially in the minor third to major third like we just did, and this is a nice little etude. We're thinking F blues scale for just a minute, and then we're going to go flat 7 of F, the 9th of F scale, and then the 3rd and the 5th. So I'm now practicing the exact same thing over F, and then back to C. Okay, let me do that again. And just know that when I go to the F chord, now I'm shifting gears and thinking about the F scale for these 2 bars. So everything that I'm doing is visualizing the F major scale when I get there, and even the blues scale. I'm thinking minor third, major third, root, 5th of F. I'm on the 2nd line, and then I go flat 7 of F, which is my index finger. And in the same way, when I connect that F scale, I'm thinking about getting my 4th finger. In this case, we're going to go 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, because that sets up my F blues scale for first 4 notes, and then I have my F9 right there. And let me say something else that's very important, is that just as I'm learning this whole shape on F as a great etude here, if I was in the key of F and I'm playing an F blues, this is a great way to start it out. You have even as I'm going up the F blues scale and I get to the top, on the way back down, there are certain notes I'd like to visualize getting to, like my thumb on B. All right, that's for another conversation. But now we're on the 3rd line. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Here, let me just move this up just a little bit. All right, now we're on the G chord. So now, same thing. I'm thinking G major has 1 sharp, F sharp. I'm going to flat that. Now I have a G mixolydian scale. I'm going minor third, major third of G. And then notice that I went to the root and the 5th. Flat 7. And then here, just like in the key of C, I'm thinking about my connection note for G is that C sharp there, or D flat, whatever you want to look at it as. 4th finger helps connect. So when I'm playing a G minor scale and I'm working on a G minor blues scale, that 4th finger is going to help me transition all the way down, up and down the keyboard. Let me do this very slowly here. If I was playing G minor blues scale, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the way back down, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. There's my 4th finger. A great connection note. Think about a note that you want to connect to help get from one octave to the next octave and to repeat the scale. Okay, so for G, we're doing 4, 5. There's that connection note right there, so I did. But here's what we're going to do that's just a little bit different. We're only spending 1 bar on G. Ba da da ba da ba da da. down. So I end on 3, and this may feel a little awkward at first, but we're stopping the scale. Normally we would keep going down, but we're just going 1 measure. And now I'm going to go to F minor third to major third. And I stop there on that B flat, and then I end by doing C again. And do the comping chords. Okay, so the most difficult spot in this whole easy etude is this idea of 3 different chords, 3 different measures. G, and the way you're going to practice that is, 1, start with just G. Okay, now I'm on my middle finger, and I know I'm about to jump up, so I visualize getting up to that A flat, and I visualize 4th finger on E flat for C. Let me do it again. Visualizing my 4th finger getting to the minor third of G, which is B flat, A flat, E flat. Let me see if we have anybody watching. If you guys are enjoying this, I would love for you to like this video. And I see we have 2 people. 2 people on a Friday morning. That's better than 1. Anyway, I hope that you guys are enjoying this simple etude, and I hope you'll go back and watch it and give me some feedback to let me know if you're enjoying this kind of content. So here we go. Now I'll slow this down. So what I was just doing right there is just doing a very simple improv based on some of the lessons that we've done this week. And notice that this becomes one little idea you can use to put inside your blues playing improvisation. So you learn to wear these things out. Repetition is your friend, I love to say. Ba-da-da-ba-da-da-da. And this is a great connection exercise. You could play this in any octave. You don't have to play the whole thing. In my improvisation, I wasn't playing it all the way. I was just doing this. So many different ways. It's endless, the amount of things you can do. Okay, let me leave you guys with one more tip for today. Was working with a student yesterday, and we were doing the first 5 notes of the blues scale. He's a very talented jazz pianist, and we were talking about getting into shape 1, which is the first 5 notes of the blues scale. So one of his assignments was to take this beginning blues sheet that we have that has tons of different ways to turn around those 5 notes. And we picked, I said, pick out of these 3, which one do you want to work on? And this is the one he did. So you have the first 5 notes of the blues scale, and then just pick one idea, and that would be my one idea. So it doesn't matter what key I'm in now as I'm working on different blues scale shapes. same exact shape. So you can pick one idea. And I had this idea. See what I did there? I just took this idea, which is just the 5 notes of the blues scale. If you were to learn that one blues scale in all keys, the first 5 notes of every key, then you sit down in a musical situation where somebody's playing the blues, and you're going to have material to play. All of the notes will work. You can turn them around however you want to, and it's going to sound great. But what you need to do is spend time going up with each scale. Spend some time in C, and you can do backing tracks on YouTube. Just do C. I mean, at iMusic Academy, I have tons of backing tracks, but you can search any backing track and just do jazz piano, blues piano, key of C to start with, no piano, so that it takes the piano out, and that way you can really focus on your sound and the first 5 notes. But then you take one idea of the blues scale, and then you say, and then you put it with something like we just learned today, this blues connection etude. Can we do that again? And maybe this. So one thing that I did that I want to stop and tell you about, so when I was improvising, I did da 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 ba da ba da 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 bum, but then one time I went, so you hear the difference, right? I did the major third, and I just got done showing you guys, it's great to be able to play the C minor blues scale, be able to play it up and down, but we want to hear that major third every now and then. And so, and just by repetition and learning how to get to that minor third to major third, which is what this etude teaches you, is that you start to want to hear that major third. So I did this. What about on F if I did that? On G, same thing. I always love to hear that major third every now and then. Hey guys, this always happens, but we end up having a rush of people at the very end of the lesson. Good to see you, Vicky, as always. All right, guys, I hope that you would go back and watch this video because I think it's really packed full of things from the beginning side of things to maybe even a little intermediate. But I want you to really focus in on each measure at a time. The sheet music is on the screen there. And the 3 concepts is you have this minor third to major third and the top half of the blues scale, but minor third to major third, and the connection is going up to the flat 7, back down, and use your 4th finger to get to the bottom half of the blues scale. And then you have really important comping chords. Comping chords are the things you play to help fill the space. So I play the lick, and there are my comping chords, always in the space. And comping chords are a fun thing to do when you're playing blues piano, and you don't have to be complicated to do it. I could play a 2-note comping chord, so flat 7 of C and E, and I could do a simple triplet lick from Blues Volume 1 like this. Vicky, I hope you have a fantastic day today, and everybody else watching this video. Go back and watch this. I think you guys will really enjoy making these connections. Thank you so much for supporting iMusic Academy. A shout out to our Blues Academy members. I'll see you guys on Monday morning at 8 a.m. for our weekly stream. And for the rest of you, thanks for hanging out at iMusic Academy on YouTube. We are growing. We just reached 15,000, but we're almost at, we're growing fast, but I just want to make sure I'm helping you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video.